Hello, we're looking at equations of circles today. If you're studying at Excel's syllabus and it's in Core 2, but it's just interesting anyway, isn't it? So the equation of a circle is in this form. Rather than doing anything more fancy, there is the equation of a circle. But we're going to have a look at what A, B and R are and just put them into this little sentence on the right hand side. In order to have a look at what A, B and R are, then I've got this little equation set up. So there's our equation of a circle again, and you can click on a link and you'll be able to access this particular graph and have a little play around. So we've got x minus a all squared, and if we start to adjust the value of a, instead of being 1, and we start to move it around, you'll see that what that does is it moves the circle left and right. And in fact, if we put it back at 1, you'll notice that the x value of the centre is at 1. If we start to move B, you can probably predict what's going to happen. Yep, it moves up and down if we change the value of B. So if we put it back to 1, you'll see that the centre of the circle is at 1, 1. So A is the x coordinate of the centre and B is the y coordinate of the centre. Again, try and have a little think about what you think R might do. There's a bit of a hint in the fact it's called R, and if I increase R, or I try to increase R, then the circle gets bigger and bigger, and you can see that it's adjusting the radius or the diameter of the circle, just to try and get a sense of what that looks like there. So if R is 3, you can see that from the centre there at 1, 1 to the top there at 4, the radius is 3, but you'll see in the equation that that will be squared on the right hand side of the equation. Don't forget that if you're squaring a negative, then it'll still be exactly the same. You'll still see 9 there, but the radius will be minus 3, and what you see is that we get a similar size circle, so it makes no difference whether R is a positive or negative value, because it's squared has the same effect. So let's go and put that information back on here. So this represents a circle with a centre of A. Notice it's minus A in the equation, and then A is the value of the centre, minus B, and B is the y coordinate of the centre, and then the radius is R. So this is the point where you pause the video and you find the centre and the radius for these equations on the left hand side, and then you find the equation for these circles over here with a centre and a radius given for you. So pause it, have a go, and then you can play it and you'll see whether you're right or not. Okay, so you're playing the video again, having had a go at these, and let's see if you got it. So for the first one, you should have had a centre of 2, 3, and a radius of the square root of 9, which is 3. For the second one, you should have had a centre of negative 4, because you'll see that there's a plus 4 there. So this has a centre of 2, this has a centre of negative 4, and the y coordinate of the centre is 1, and the radius is the square root of 12. And of course, you're perfectly good at your surds. You know that that's the same as the square root of 4 times the square root of 3, and the square root of 4 is 2, so you end up with 2 root 3. And for the final one, we've got a centre of 3, and because there's nothing taken away from y, 0. And the radius is the square root of 9 over 16. And that would be 3 over 4. So well done if you got those. Now on to we're given the centre and the radius of the circle, we're going to find the equation. So the equation is going to be x minus the x coordinate of the centre plus y minus the y coordinate of the centre. Both of those are all squared, and that's equal to the radius squared, 9. For the second one, we've got minus the x coordinate of the centre, so it would be minus negative 3, which is why you end up with plus 3, and y take away the y coordinate of the centre, and we end up with 1.5 squared, 2.25. There you go. So that's the basics of, from an equation of a circle, finding the centre and the radius, and from the centre and the radius, finding the equation. There are another couple of videos looking at how we can further develop this idea of circles and their equations. Thank you very much for your time.